This is lesson 14.1, rational and irrational numbers. So we're going to take a look today at square roots, and a square root is just the opposite of squaring something. And we've talked about squaring things before. We've done problems like, 6 squared, where we take 6 times 6 to get 36. Well, when we take the square root, we want to go the other way. We want to look at a number like 36 and say to ourselves, what number times itself will give us 36? So we're just thinking about it backwards. So, 6 times 6 is 36. And so we would say that the square root of 36 is 6. Now this funny symbol right here, that is our square root symbol. And this is called a radical, but that doesn't matter right now. So just know that this is the symbol for square root, and that when we're taking square roots, we're thinking about what number times itself gives us that number under the radical. Excuse me. Another word that we're going to run across is perfect square, and that's a number that has a whole number square root. So that's what we're just looking at right now, situations that have whole number square roots. So they want us to find the 2 square roots of each number. Well, the reason it says 2 is because if you think about it, to get 25, I can take 5 times 5. But I could also take -5 times -5, and that answer would give me still 25. And if you don't believe me, bust out your calculator, take -5 times -5, and see that you do get 25. So the 2 square roots are just the positive and negative version of that number, and we write it as plus or minus like that, and then the number. So the 2 square roots of 1, well, that's just 1 plus or minus 1. We can have some things that are a little bit more complex. This fraction here, I'm going to treat as 2 parts, 2 different problems. I'm going to look at the numerator first and think about the 2 square roots of 25. Well, we already talked about that. That's 5 and minus 5. And then going to look at the denominator, 4. Well, the square roots of 4, 2 and -2, because 2 times 2 is 4. So I'm just going to transfer each square root and the numerator, then denominator, and I'm going to write my plus or minus just right out front. Okay, this guy over here, 121 over 49. Well, the square root of 121, that's 11 times 11. Is 121. So the 11 goes in the numerator. My denominator, that's 49. 7 times 7 is 49. So 11 over 7 is the square root of this guy, and I need my plus or minus.